Okay, we got 60 now.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. So welcome to the Lockdown Technical Webinars. So this is the fourth webinar we are conducting. We successfully completed 3 webinars during the last 3 weeks. So if you have missed out, you can go to our YouTube page and you can watch these videos anytime you want. So today's webinar on Git Basics will be conducted by Waruna Tennakoon. He's from SimCentric. He's a technical lead. So before we moving on, so I just wanted to let you all know versus COVID competition organized by IEEE. So this is a competition organized by IEEE student branch of the University of Peradeniya. So if you have any idea of a project related to COVID-19 outbreak in Sri Lanka, you can submit a project proposal before May 4th, and you get an opportunity to get funded and mentored by patron companies. So SLASSCOM Sri Lanka is patroning this versus COVID competition. So you can check this out. You can, before you submitting, this is open to any Sri Lankan. So before you submitting, you can go through these rules and guidelines and upload it to the link provided. And also you can reach out to the email address provided below. All right, so Waruna, over to you.
Okay, thanks, Tushan. So, hi everyone, good afternoon. So let me start my webinar. So I have a set of slides that will help us learn this the basics of Git. So I'll be talking about version controlling and how to use Git to do that, and of course how to the basic understanding of Git will be provided with this webinar. So talking about myself, I work for a company called SimCentric, located in Orion City, Colombo, and you have my contact details here, so you later can actually contact me through these channels if you have any questions after the webinar is concluded. So talking about the company I work for, SimCentric Technologies, it's actually located in Orion City, Colombo, and this year actually celebrated 10 years of existence, and we actually develop software for military industry, military sector, and basically develop simulation software. And as a product company, we are doing that. So that's about myself and the company I work for. So today's lineup, what's on the menu? So this is what you are going to basically touch upon today during today's webinar. What is version controlling and why it is needed, and why use Git for version controlling. And we'll go through some theoretical aspects of version controlling and Git, and some hands-on session in which we will be learning some Git related basic operations. And we'll if we have enough time, we'll try to open up GitLab example project. So idea is to actually, I expect everyone to learn something out of this session, which you can actually employ practically in your day-to-day life, either in campuses, in the university, in a university project, or in an actual real-world project when you come to the industry. So let me start by asking the question: what is a source control or version control? In general, it means that so basically, if in software development, there should be a way for you to recall a specific version at a later time in your workflow. So basically, we have the let's say in a local computer also, you can, it's a very simple, a basic idea is that you have multiple versions, and you work on one specific version at a time, most probably the latest one, but you have the older versions stored in kind of a database. So that is the basic understanding. And when it comes to a software version controlling and source control, they call it software version controlling, there are we can find two types of version control system. CVCS, centralized version control systems, and of course the distributed version control system, which I will explain in the next slide. So centralized version control system, according to the picture, you can easily understand that the version database is located in a central server. And let's say computer, in this picture, in this slide, you can see computer A and computer B, two developers working on the same project, but the database is stored in a central location. There are a lot of downsides to this, because you always need access to this server, either via an internet connection or you need a network connection to this server all the time in order to work on this project. And single point of failure, if the version database goes down in the central version server, then none of the developers can work on the project because it's down. So that is one downside. And only a single snapshot as in a single version, is available in the client machine at a given time. All the other versions are stored in the version control server, which is centrally located. And there is no good support or no support at all from popular code management services such as GitLab, GitHub. You have been into these sites. Example for centralized version control, a very good example or popular example is SVN. So, but today we will be discussing about Git. So Git is a distributed version controller. So let me minimize. Okay. So distributed version controller means that the version database it's not located in a single a central server. All the developers, all the participants in the project will be able to access and of course all these developers will have a copy of the version database in all of their workstation. And of course there will be a server computer, a central server kind of setup as well. And all these participants will have the version database. So if you look at here, you can see the version database here, here, here. So it's copied in, you have the copies for you to access anytime. So full mirror of the repository, full history is available for everyone. Server only facilitates the collaboration. So for the collaboration, there is a server, but the version database is in all PCs. This actually allows, set up branching workflows, which I will explain in a later slide, that go in line with today's software practices. So, there are branching workflows such as Git flow, GitHub flow, which I will not be covering in this webinar. But anyway, these approaches can be, taken when you're using a distributed version control system. So let's this is the Git Basics webinar. So let's start by understanding the meaning of the word Git. So if you look at the dictionary, it says an unpleasant or contemptible person, basically an angry old man, the simple meaning. So Git, actually the name suits the tool as well, because if you don't learn the basics of Git upfront, it will be hard for you. So you will be angry. You guys not old, but you will be angry if you tool to use if you're not aware about the basics. Talking about the history, this came as a replacement for a tool called a version control system called BitKeeper. So BitKeeper is also distributed version control, which was actually used by Linus Torvalds. I suppose everybody knows this person. He actually wrote the Linux kernel. So for that project, actually they use a tool called BitKeeper, and due to a problem with the BitKeeper team, Linus Torvalds decided to come up with their own version control system, and it was his a solo project by him, and it was introduced in 2005, Git. So from there onwards, in the industry, Git is the, if you take these days, it is the go-to version control system in any software company. So give me a second. Let me stop the video. Okay. So Git strong points. What are the advantages of using Git? So it is speed, very efficient with large projects. Speed because you saw that the version database, it's available locally, offline in your machine itself, you have it. So the interaction between the version control will be faster. And strong support for non-linear development. What you call by non-linear? Non-linear means like you can create multiple branches and assign multiple developers to work on those different branches, and later you can merge these branches together. So that sort of a branching workflows are made possible using Git, because it's distributed nature. Creating a branch, it's not a huge cost when it comes to distributed version control system, especially Git, and fully distributed and supported by online platforms. GitHub, pretty sure that you guys have used GitHub and GitLab, Bitbucket. There are multiple platforms that you can use, and these systems are using Git as the version control system. Okay. So this is to reiterate the fact that Git only need only local files and resources to operate. Generally, no information is needed from another computer on your network, so you can actually operate without an internet connection for the most part. Only for certain operations you need an internet access to access the Git server. Creating branches, committing, you can do all of those actions without an internet connection at all in Git. And the integrity, Git has integrity. Integrity means for every commit, for an example, for every commit you have a unique ID. In this case, if you look at here, so this is a very long a hash. So I think this is using SHA-1. SHA-1 and SHA-256, I think these days. So they have this hash for every commit, which is unique for that repository. So the integrity will be preserved that way. Okay, presentation. So this has to be learned properly. So there are three main states when it comes to Git. in which the files can reside. So the first one is the modified. So when you do a certain modification to a file, it will obviously be in the modified state. Then what you normally do is you just in let's say in SVN, in some other version controller, you just commit that change to the repository. But in between the two states, there is this staged section. So these are just theories, and I will be, explaining this during the hands-on session. So keep these points in your mind for the time being. Later, when I do the actual hands-on session, you will, better understand. So at the moment, just keep in mind that there are three states: modified, staged, and committed. So you can't directly go to the committed without staging. So what I explained, modify means that you have changed the file but have not committed. Stage means that you have marked the modified file in its current version to go into an next commit. So you just mark the file. And committed, of course, means that it's stored in the local database, local repository. So if you look at this picture, you can easily identify. So let's say in the modified state, there could be several files. So if you look at the red and green color, red means removed lines, green means added lines. So there are several files in which there are lines which are added and removed as well. And there are certain files with no changes at all, right? And there is a file which is added as a new item as well. So this is how the modified state looks like. And during the staged state, you only select what you want to see in the next commit. So that is why the staging area is there for. So you decide that in the next commit, I just want to see the changes I have done for the file A and the new file I added, the file D, and the changes I have done for the file E. So only these three changes I want to see in the next commit. So you make that decision in the staging area. So others will remain intact in the modified state. The other files, for example, file B will remain in the modified state. And committed, so you commit. So if you look at the inside the commits, you have only the items that you selected in the staging area. So that is how a commit is created. And when it comes to Git, you need to follow a certain branching workflow in any sort of a project, even for your campus project. Let's say your final project or some other project that you are working with another 2 or 3 friends in your team. And if you decide to use Git to version control your project, then it would have been nicer if I can see all of you in live, and so I can ask these questions from you guys. But let me ask the question anyway. So in a typical project, you guys are sharing the code, maybe using pen drives. Maybe you are emailing your changes, and suddenly the project which used to be working is not working anymore. Then you don't know whose change actually caused that error. So those kind of issues can be mitigated if you can use a version control system like Git. Should actually follow a certain branching workflow. So let me explain a very simple branching workflow which you can employ in any of your projects. So just you have to create a branch called you can merge the branch into the developer. So likewise, you can, that is the merged commit, and then likewise you can have another branch, maybe by another developer, feature slash. So it could be a feature instead of a bug fix. So likewise you merge that as well. Then once you are ready for the release related problems can be fixed in another branch. Then also you can add commits directly to the develop branch as well if you wish to do that. So likewise you can come up with this sort of a simple branching workflow in any of your project. And there are certain branching workflows used in the industry, such as Git flow, GitHub flow. You can maybe search and learn about those stuff. Or yeah, and there is another special file called .gitigno. Gitigno now version controlling in a typical project. Let's say in a Node project, I hope you have used Node.js in some of your projects. So in a Node project, there could be a folder called node_modules. So that is not source code. That doesn't continue to use source code. So in order to ignore the non-source code folders and files, you can use this gitigno file, in which you can actually mention what are the stuff that you want to ignore, which are not first project. It could be for an so that is about gitigno. All right, let's okay, go ahead with the hands-on session. So I rushed a bit because I want to actually, as I will be discussing, I will be doing this is the Git Basics Git repository, and I will be checking out a branch, and I'll be adding some files, staging, I hope you remember, and doing a commit and push to the central repository. And in the GitLab, meanwhile, I will be creating branches. I will be possibly doing a merge request. I will explain this stuff, and I'll be creating a tickets as well. So I will show you how to practically approach practically carry out a project using GitLab, and those exact steps. Exact steps you can use in your day-to-day life, maybe for your university projects. And these, whatever the approach that I will be discussing, more or less the same when it comes to the industry. All right. So these tools you have to download. These are the bare minimum requirements. You have to download the Git tool. So you can download using this link, and you have to create an account in GitLab, which you can freely do, right? And you can add your friends and collaborate on a project as well. So GitLab, I found it very easy and feature rich as well. There are some you can use Git, how Git, right? In here you can see the versions, the Git version. I hope I was not disconnected all this time. Okay. All right. Okay. So the versions are stored inside this folder called .git. Okay. Now let's assume that we have a bug to fix. So what is, let's say, the first thing that you must do here is you need to create an issue here. So this is the ideal way of, working in a Git project using GitLab. So you can create a new issue. Let's say in your project also you find a bug and you want to assign this ticket, we call this the ticket to someone else. Let's say I found a bug. Something is okay. So you can add a description, you can do all this fancy stuff, and you can maybe assign to someone in your team as well and set a due date and all this fun stuff. You can actually try it out in your in actual project. So let me submit this issue. All right. Okay. So once you create a issue, all the issues will be listed in this issue list, and you can go inside this ticket, and there is this option for you to create a branch. So branch name, and if you remember the animation that the branching workflow I displayed from the develop branch, the other branches are being created. So here, what is the source and the actual branch name? Source is automatically they have picked as develop. So here, let me create a branch. So I'm going to create a branch. Okay. Now, if you go to the branches section, all the branches will be displayed. So we have a master, which is the default branch, and they develop, and the one we just created. And what we can do is, you can of course download the branch as well. You can do all this fancy stuff. So let me go into the branch. Okay. So what I'm going to do next is now we clone the repo. Now it's time to try out the checkout command. So let me go back to the repository and do the git bash here. Now, even though the branch is created in the server, the local repository doesn't know about it as yet. So how to do that? First, let me type the git status just to check if there are any changes that we have done mistakenly. There is no such changes. You can use this git status command for that. And now I'm trying to actually get that new information about the new branch I created, which I can do by typing the command git fetch, which is another command. By typing fetch, you just get the new branch onto your local repository, but you are still in the develop branch. You can see it using this here. Normally the branch, the current branch that you are working on is displayed here in the bash, the prompt. So now I want to go into this branch and start working on this bug. So this is the branch name, kind of a long name because it was automatically created. So how to shift from one branch to another using git checkout. Right. So now you can see the prompt has changed from develop. Now it is saying the new branch name, which means that we are in the new branch at the moment. So now it's time to actually do some changes. Maybe let's pretend that we fixed this bug. So let me open up something here, maybe the main CPP. Okay, let's say obviously there is a bug. So let me delete this thing. Save. So practically this could be, this could take several commits and several code line change. So let me assume that I have fixed the bug for the demonstration purpose. Let me go back to this thing. Okay. So now if I type the git status, it shows that main CPP has been changed. Okay, I'm getting some chats. Okay, all right. I got some questions already, which I will, give answers after I conclude the session. Okay, all right. I got some questions from, okay, Dilip. Okay, I'll attend to those questions later. So now you can see the file is, the main CPP is changed, and it shows us that it has been changed. Now let me go to, let me open up a tool called Git GUI, using which you can, prepare the commit. So if you can recall the earlier slides, before preparing the commit, you have to, stage that file. So here, if you can see the left side, the top left, it's the, unstaged changes, the modified state. Remember the 3 circles? So here it is the staged area, stage area. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to stage this file from here to here. So you can do this by simply clicking this small icon alongside the actual file. So now it's in the stage. Once the file is in the stage area, it will, that file will be in the next commit. So here you can type in a commit message. So you can basically say what you have done. A descriptor. There are standards that we expect in a typical commit message. But anyway, here let's type something like I fix this bug or something like this. Doesn't make any sense, but yeah, okay. So and I'm going to sign off, which is optional. And then when I press commit, it will create a commit. Git will create a commit using the files in the staged area. So let me press the commit button. So now everything got disappeared. We have obviously created the commit. Here it says that you have created the commit. Even though we have created the commit, let us go back to the GitLab and see in the commit section, it is still not there, because committing happens to the local repository only. The local database is been updated, not the remote servers database. So how to do that? You just have to click push here, or else you can type git push here as well. So without actually typing the commands, I have staged a file. I have made a commit, created the commit, and I could have, pushed the code as well, but instead I'm typing the command here to push the change. This commit will be pushed to this branch, not to the develop branch, still in this newly created branch, which is, created to track this issue. So now it should be available in the, so here it is. So now we have successfully pushed the commit. Now are we done? No, still this branch is, this commit is only in this branch. We have to, merge this change. If I go back to, my slide here, now we have fixed the bugs. We have added one commit. Now it's time to, merge the code. So how to do that? Using GitLab, it's pretty simple. You need to just press this button, create merge, and it automatically populates the stuff. you have to mention here it is, from this branch into develop we are merging. So I'm going to submit the merge request. So in a in a team environment, once the merge is submitted, it can be approved by someone else, typically someone senior to you. So and once you create this merge request, you can do some code reviewing as well. Here you can check what is inside this change, and you can use this space as a code review workspace as well. So I'm going to merge this. So I'm still not merged. I just created the merge request. The request for merge is created. So I'm merging this change. Okay. Since I pushed the commit to the remote repository, I have done two stuff. I have created the merge request, and I have actually merged the code as well onto the develop branch. But in the local repository, the merging part is still not updated. So how to do that? Let's go back to this thing, and I can update my repository using, to type git status again just in case. Okay, and I can type git pull. Pulling means you are pulling from the remote branch. All right, let me open up another tool called, I'm running out of time, so let me open up another tool called Git. So here you can, I'm not sure whether you can see this clearly. You can see that the branch created, and we added a commit ifixes branch, and it has been merged to develop as well. So you can visualize. So likewise, there have been, previous commits here as well, which followed the same suit. So here you can see the merged. It looks more like, this graphic, because the merging has happened here. So you can use this Git tool to visualize your Git. After all, it actually grows like a tree. So you can use this tool to visualize it as well. All right. So we did a few, so basically I managed to do all the stuff that I plan to do. So now what you can get from this session is try to employ what you have learned. Maybe there in the audience, there could be certain, students who already knows about this stuff, maybe using some other system like GitHub. So try to, follow a branching workflow, and try to, see how a team can collaboratively work on a project. So you can, when you are doing a final year project, you can list out all the features that you are planning to do, and create tickets, create, issues in GitLab, and create branches for all those features, and try to merge them. And during the merge, even though this merge went smoothly, there could be scenarios where, so let me go back to the presentation. So there could be scenarios where merge conflicts can happen. Merge conflict is like two people trying to change the same file, maybe the same line. Then Git will not be able to, identify whose changes to, take in. So then it presents that opportunity to the developers themselves. So developers have to, figure out the conflict, and resolve the merge conflict, and that is actually not covered in this session, but I will give you some pointers. So how merge conflict, this example is given here. Merge conflict, will be marked. The two sections will be marked like this. So you have to look for these equal signs and greater than, less than signs. So it will be divided. Conflict always happen between two parties, no? So one party's change will be highlighted like this. Here, if you take this example, this is colliding. This one line of change is colliding with this change. So it can't actually decide what to use going forward. So the two developers in this case have to come together and decide what to use as the conflict resolution method, either to use this line or this section, or to use both these divs in this case. So maybe in another session, Git advanced session or something like that, we can cover this up. And there are third-party tools as well. So Git GUI and Git K, the two tools I use, looks quite old. Those tools are default tools. You can try out this source tree, which is a nice tool, which is created by Atlassian. It is very user friendly. You don't have to type any command at all, but it's much, it's best that you know the commands as well. And out of this session, I wanted to, let you guys know why do we, what is the benefit of using Git or any version control for that matter. But Git obviously is, used widely in the industry. Most probably you will be using Git when you start working in the industry. So it allows you to track your code change. So after 2 years also, you can go back in time and see what you have done to the code 2 years ago, which is very valuable in large code bases. See a revision history for your code, which is the same, and revision history. Yeah, and revert to previous versions of a project when needed. You can easily revert to a previous version as well, because every commit is denoted by a unique ID. If you know the unique ID, if you can, then you can travel back to that specific location of the code. And obviously you can collaborate on code with your team. You can make it a collaborative software. You will understand that it's a collaborative effort anyway. So this tool allows you to efficiently and effectively work on a repository as a team. And with the branching workflows, it allows you to isolate your work until it is ready. So I tried to explain that using the very simple example of me creating that branch in order to add that one commit. So in a typical, in a practical scenario, you might be working on that branch for a week maybe. And until such time, you are not disturbed by others, changes done to the code. You can isolate your work, and once it is ready only, you should merge the change to the main branch where all the developers are working. And this will allow you to quickly troubleshoot the issues by identify who made changes and what the changes were. So because for every change that you do to the code, you create a a ticket. In this case, we created an issue in GitLab before starting our work. So you just have to go through the issues, and you have to find out the corresponding commit for that as well. So let me go back quickly to GitLab interface. So here, if you go to the issue list, now we didn't, we already closed it. So here, so this is the issue that I created. All right. And inside the issue, you can see the branch here. You can see the branch. And branch and the, branch we deleted. Let me go back to this thing. So you can see the commit as well. So if you know that, so it's actually talks to each other, the issue management system and the source code management system. So ideally, anyone can, if you have access to this Jira, GitLab issue, you can find out the related changes as well, the code changes. If you go to this code change, you can see the change that you have done. I just deleted this line. It's all there. So it's easy to troubleshoot when it comes to practical scenarios. All right. Let me finish this off quickly. And if you request for me to do advanced Git, I'll be covering this stuff. Git rebase. What is there is a command called Git rebase and how to use it and when to use it. Git large file storage, Git blame, Git flow, the branching workflow, and there is something called Git submodules as well. And there are some advanced branching methods that you can use, and how we can maybe go through a merge conflict and see how to resolve it, and connect with a CI server. CI server, continuous integration server, such as Jenkins. When you put a new commit, you can set up an automated build. So it will check the code for compiler errors or some other errors. You can connect your source code management system with a CI server. So those stuff we can, it takes time. Maybe in the future, if I get the opportunity, I might do an advanced Git webinar as well. So in case of fire, this is what you have to do, especially if you are working in a company. So this is just a joke. So let me check out the questions. Okay. Okay. Please do a session about advanced Git. Okay. If I might do one. If you are doing advanced parts of Git, to do very yeah. Okay. Not really. Okay. Okay. What happens if the same file is being modified in multiple branches? Even if the same file is being modified in multiple branches, it might get merged, gracefully by Git. But there could be certain scenarios. I think I explained if the same line is being displayed. Let me go back to. So basically, this is the root cause for a merge conflict. So in this example, maybe in 2 different branches, the same file, the index.html, has been changed in 2 different ways. So Git is confused how to go proceed further. So then it will present to the user, and there is a way for us to actually resolve the conflict. There is a set of steps that we can follow. It's not that hard. And if you just Google, and in the YouTube also, there are a lot of videos that you can learn. So I think I just wanted to put up a base. So if you are further interested in how to effectively use Git, and if you are very interested, then from this base you can build up your own knowledge, and maybe in a definitely in an advanced Git session, merge conflict, I will demonstrate how to do that. Is GitLab a private repo or public repo? You can create private repos. Kapilan, yes, you can create private repos in GitLab, and even GitHub you can use. You don't need to use GitLab. I just use that for my demonstration. GitHub also the same process you can implement. GitHub, GitLab, and even Bitbucket, you are allowed to create private repositories. Just start creating repositories and see how it goes. What's the relationship with Bitbucket, Chintaka? What is the relationship with Bitbucket? Let me check if I can unmute Chintaka. I hope he's still on. Okay, Chintaka, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear.
Yeah, Chintaka, what do you mean by the relationship with Bitbucket? With what, with Git? Is that the question?
Yes, I mean in Bitbucket as well, we are using Git, is it? Because I
Yes.
I I have noticed the commands are same, and I think logic is the same. I mean, the base is Git, right? In Bitbucket as well. Am I correct there?
What is the second question? What is the question that you just raised?
I mean, what's the base inside Bitbucket? Is it
Base.
all?
Yeah, you can.
Also the Git?
Yeah, you can call it as the base. So basically, Mali, what happens in services like Bitbucket and GitLab and GitHub. So all these services inside, they have a Git repository, right? But what they do is they have done some value addition around the Git version controlling. Git only takes care of the version controlling. No? So with GitLab, what you can do, you can create projects, right? You can link them with issues. You can add members and handle the user involvement, and then you can set privacy. Those stuff comes with the the Bitbucket or GitLab or that value addition service, and it changes from one system to another. But the core, how it manages the code, how it creates the branch, the cloning, how to clone the repo, that the version controlling, they internally use the Git. So Git is the core. You can say it as the base. So even you can create a service like Bitbucket, and you can use inside Git as the mechanism to create repositories. So that is that. I hope you got the answer. Okay, you've been muted. Sorry about that.
Yes, I got it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay. Let me go up. Can you explain it again? Dinit. Dinit. I think he's not on the call. All right. Can we get this recording? Those stuff, I think we should be able to get them. Okay. Please do a session about advanced Git. Yeah, if I might do one. Can you cover those by doing practicals like, yeah, definitely. I will be more on hands-on when it comes to the advanced session. I will do, it will be less theory and more hands-on. Are the GitHub and lab interfaces the same? So the final question, Jude, let me unmute him. Jude, can you hear me, Jude?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, so your question is, are the GitHub and lab interfaces?
Yes, GitLab. Sorry.
GitLab. Right. Yeah. Interfaces, Malli, by interfaces you mean the UI and all that, right?
Yes, exactly.
It is like this. Like I explained in the other question, the core is same. Once you clone the project into your machine, then it is the same. Either you are using GitLab or GitHub. But in the the actual web application, in our case, you saw that GitLab has these issues that you can create and you can merge these by pressing buttons and all. It might be different in GitHub, but you should be able to do the same. In GitHub also you can create branches, right, using the web interface, and I think you can create issues as well. I'm not sure about it. And you can they have this concept called pull request, I think, instead of merge request. The namings are a bit different. In GitLab it says merge request. When you want to merge two branches, it says merge request.
So the commands are a little bit different, is that so?
Commands will not be different in the local. And that's why I said, once you clone the project into your machine, command in your local machine, what you do will not be different at all. No difference at all. in the actual system, when you log into the GitHub, it will be different, obviously. And when you log into the GitLab, it will be different from GitHub. And Bitbucket, it's different from the other two as well. And sometimes, for example, here, if I go back, now here, Jude, now they call it the merge request. Now here,
Yes.
can you see my screen? It's in Bitbucket, they call it pull request. But
Okay.
so those kind of slight differences are there, but it's 99% same. They have more features, they have different ways of adding users to the repositories. Those kinds are there, but the key part, once you clone the project using the command line onto your personal PC, from there onwards, it's only Git. So the Git commands, whatever the commands that I typed in the the bash shell, it will not be different based on the service that you use.
Okay. Thank
Right. All right. Let me. Okay. Questions have been answered. All right. I think I can hand over to Myron, maybe.
Hi. Hi. Thanks, Waruna. Thanks so much. I think it was very valuable, and you sharing your knowledge with us. And also to let everyone know, so the next week we won't be having any webinar because Poya Vesak falls on next Thursday. But you can expect another webinar 14th Thursday on the same time on artificial intelligence and machine learning. So you can stay tuned to our social media. We will be posting our upcoming event and also the flyers, so you can get registered. Okay, thank you everyone. Thank you, Waruna.
Okay, thanks. Okay.